Hey, everybody. It's Wednesday at 11 o'clock Central Time, and that means this is Brown Bag Lunch. I'm Dr. John Sherk, and I'm here to help you in all kinds of ways with your technical workforce, especially for those air conditioning technicians. I hope I'm giving you things that essentially improve your lives. It's Thanksgiving this week. So, on the level of gratitude, um, and because my goal is to increase the quality and level of happiness in technicians' lives, um, let's just talk a bit about gratitude, where it comes from, and what to do with it. Um, the only way to be grateful is to become aware of what you already have. So that's the place to start. The Lots of people become unhappy by thinking about things they don't have. Um, as a singer I like, he has a line in his song that, um, he says we should always be chasing what we've got, and that concept is really the beginning of how to build a life for yourself that's of a higher quality than the one you have now. What is it you already have? Now, once you become aware of what you already have, then you can choose to build on that. But you have to take stock in order to do it. Sometimes I say things that seem so obvious, but if we don't pause and do them, it doesn't help us. So take stock. Take stock on what you have, whether it's family, the job that you have, the abilities that you have, the whatever that is, the kids, the whatever it is that's meaningful to you. Start there and build from there. Now, when you go to build, the thing to start being conscious of is freedom. And now this may be something you feel like you don't have. Listen, I'm talking to a lot of technicians these days, and I hear a similar story. I got into this business kind of falling into it. I didn't grow up dreaming of being an air conditioning mechanic. My days are composed of having someone else tell me where to go next, where to go next, where to go next, and I just am responding to that. Many days, especially during a busy season, I don't even know when the end of my day is. My kids say to me, "Dad, I want you to come to my football game this afternoon." And all you can say is, "I'm really going to try." And when you're in that kind of context, um, freedom feels like something you don't have. And what I want to do is just remind you that freedom is something you have if you choose to take it. Okay. And what happens is technicians in general, um, they get afraid of being fired, or they get kind of either intimidated or just influenced by KPIs, getting chewed out because I didn't sell a air purifier this week, or whatever that metric is that's being handed to you. And you just really need to know that the way the labor market is right now, you can get, if you show up every day on time and you have a medium level of skills, you don't have to be a rock star. If you show up consistently, you give a damn about customers, and you have medium set of skills, you can get another job in about 20 minutes. So the days are shifting. The culture is shifting, with a power moving from um, managers and owners to the frontline people who have those skills. For a long time, we've been retiring 2 techs for everyone coming into the industry, and we're reaching a kind of critical point. Now, this doesn't mean I'm not trying to turn on a threat the other direction either. Don't be that person, but just don't live with a sense that you don't have freedom, that you don't have choices, because you do. You do have choices, and that's what you can then build on. I say to owners and managers all the time, your role in this thing to create a life that's happy for a technician, which they now have to do, or they can't keep technicians. It's a mandatory reality right now. So it's their job to open the door for you to have freedom, but it's your job, technician. It's your job to activate it. And so activate it. And this week is a really great time to think about this and talk about this, because Thanksgiving has a kind of reflect on my life way about it. Okay. So that's really the gist of what I wanted to say to you today. If you're a technician and you see this, or hear this, what I'm inviting you to do is begin with the gratitude that normally comes with Thanksgiving anyway. And as you begin to take stock of what you have and feel grateful for it, what I want you to add to the list is freedom. And I'm not talking about political freedom. I'm just talking about your ability to make choices that maybe you're not using right now. You may say, no, John, you don't understand. I don't have that freedom. If you work through the fear you have of taking ownership of that freedom, you'll find actually you do. You do have that freedom. You can build a quality life for yourself if you activate that freedom, but you have to activate it. Um, there's having freedom and not using it is not that different from not having it. So those choices exist. They're real and they're yours. And even if you choose, if you're not happy where you are and you choose to stay there, you need to know in your mind, in your heart, I'm choosing to stay here, and it will change your experience of being there. Okay. The square one for building a great life begins with the awareness of my own freedom and then activating it. There's a lot of places to go after that, but there's very few places to go before that. Okay. You have it. The labor market is what it is. Maybe in 10 years, it'll all change back to the way it was 20 years ago, but it's not that way now. And it's realistically, it's not going to change at all for the next 20 years because the trend line isn't changing. Every day there's fewer technicians than yesterday. There's just a couple fewer, and every day it's a couple fewer, and every day it's a couple fewer. And that demand for your skills is changing everything. It's part of my research. Part of my research in my dissertation showed that the idea that someone is staying in a job because it costs them too much to leave it, it's vanishing. It's evaporating into nothing. It's becoming not a part of an employee experience in craft labor because the demand for talent is so high. You can go get a job in 20 minutes if that's what you really want to do. But that's the real question, isn't it? What do you really want to do? The way life is set up for most service technicians, it's like that. What do I want and what do I do about that? It's like a muscle that never gets exercised because you're having things dictated to you so much. If you want to get on the phone with me and talk about this, by the way, please comment below and we'll talk one-on-one. I'd love to hear your situation. I talk to technicians every day. I talked to a couple this morning. If you want me to talk with you, I'd be happy to do it. But just realize the freedom required to live the life you want to live, you have it. Don't wish for it. You already have it. And as you're being grateful this week, reflecting on things you're grateful for, don't forget that you have freedom. You have what you need to get started on building a great life for yourself. My name's Dr. John Sherk. This has been Brown Bag Lunch. If you'd love to talk some more about this with me, make a comment below and we'll get on the phone or a Zoom call, and I'd love to get to know you. We'll see you next week.